for scottsaunders.desgin, and so I'm gonna go over some WordPress stuff I've done that some of you may find interesting, may not, whatever. Several years ago, a while back, Adobe came out with a publishing suite using Adobe InDesign to create magazines for the iPad. And it's super expensive. Nobody can really afford it unless you're a big corporation or whatever. There are other companies that sort of create a web-based equivalent of that. ReadyMag is one that I can think of, and Adobe Spark sort of has an online version. Both of these are service-based. Now, I think Adobe is free if you have a Adobe account. I'm not sure about that, but ReadyMag, it has a free version, but they also charge a fee for it, and they do some hosting stuff. But what I wanted to do was create something that's similar to those, but have its own, be able to host it, be inside of WordPress, and all that stuff. So to do this, I'm using three different things. I'm using Designmodo's slides, I'm using advanced custom fields, and I'm using the Elementor drop and drag editor. I'm using Elementor Pro, and I do that because I have to use the templates, and I'll show you how I do this. But anyway, all right. So what you're looking at right now is something I created using that, using those three things. So again, the interface you're looking at here is Designmodo slides. It's got little arrows here that I can click and go to the next slide. You get the cool transitions and the animations. I'm using my arrow keys to go back and forth. Do that. Do that. So we get the cool, and you notice how like the text fades in from the bottom and all that. All that is I'm sorry, not Designmodo slides. That is Designmodo slides animations that use attaching classes to it. So let's have a look at the back end of this. So I'm going to edit page, and so this is where all the content comes from. It's a flexible content here. And over here on the right, I've got the slide settings, so I can go zoom, zen, and if you're familiar with slides, these are the different transitions they do. So I'm going to switch over to cards, and I'm going to change the slide direction, and I'm going to change the background effects, and I'm going to do scenic. All right, and I'm going to do update, and let's have a look and see what this does. And I'm going to hit Shift Reload just to be on the safe side. All right, now we see that our arrows are on the left and right hand side, no longer top and bottom, and we have the little dots at the bottom. So we can navigate by clicking the dots. We still have the cool effects, but we're sliding right and left, and sort of a slidey, stacky type effect. You can also add like additional buttons. So with slides, you have these classes you can add to things, and that will let it advance to previous slides and next slide by just attaching a class to it. Okay, and keep going. So yay. All right, yeah, and we can click this, and it'll open up, the links and stuff like that. That's not part of this. That's something else. Go to the next one. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, now if we go to the back end again, let me click Edit Page, and the sliding thing you're seeing in the admin bar, I added that. That's post. That's just some CSS I added to it to do that. All right, so here's where I select my template. So you see select template, and this is advanced custom fields. So I just built a simple flexible content thing that lets me add content, so I can choose either to have a select a template or one with a video background. The one with the video background, that's the one you see, so I'm adding the template name, and that's what I called it, and the template settings, and I have a background video where I select it there, a poster, and I give it a name and an ID, and that's the stuff you see on the little line thing on the right hand side for the navigation. Okay, now these are built, these individual sections are built using Elementor. So if I go back and I go to their Elementor templates, so if I go to templates, and I've got one called sample, so let me finish editing this. All right, I'm gonna click edit with Elementor. Now Elementor, if you're not familiar with it, is a drop and drag editor. So what I have done for my single.php file is a simple background. It's actually a single slide, and so we get the menu and we get a sense of what it's going to look like. So I'm going to, this is the default look, I'm going to add a 2-column section, and I'm using my navigator to say I want it to be height, I want it to go fit to screen. I'm sorry, I want to do min height, and that's going to be 100 VH. And I'm going to, what else? Let me see, 100ph. All right, so we have these little things here that let us change the, if you're not familiar with Elementor, you can change it for mobile and tablet. And click VH again, and I'm going to do 100. So there it is, all that stuff's going to fit. And you see that it automatically stacks. I didn't tell it to do that, Elementor did that. All right, so if we go back to our desktop view, right, these are aligned center. I'm going to add just some simple stuff here. So I'm going to add some copy on one side. There's my copy. And I'm going to add an image on the left side. So image on the left, right. All right, so we can also click on these columns. And let's say I want to change the alignment on these, and I don't know, there's a lot of stuff to click here and I forget where stuff is. Oh, I'm also clicking the wrong column. All right, click on this column, and I want to do middle. So now the text is going to be aligned middle with that, right? All right, and I can also set a, let me use my navigator here to go to this. I'm going to go with my style, and I can set a background color with a level of transparency. So that's going to be about, I don't know what that is. Go ahead and look. That's about 75% transparent. Okay, so there's our text, and we can add some more stuff in here. And this is just a really super simple layout because I don't want to start boring people. There's a heading we can drop in. Right, and that's default text we use for the heading. I already set that. But what we can also do is click on this and go to your style and select typography. And we can select a different font. So I'm going to do, like I did with the other one, I'm going to do Yellowtail. So there's a nice vintage look to it. And I'm going to call this Retro Title. Now you have two editors for this. You can do the content here and here. And I'm going to call this Retro Title. And there's our cup. And I'm going to add an image here. Let's see, what do I have in my library? I've got pictures of Captain America, Cary Grant. Well, I'll use one with Cary Grant. All right, insert that. And that will resize to fit there. And then I want, now you can do captions, but I prefer to do it because the spacing is easier to do. Go back, add another text box. And a man for all seasons. ACF minutes. All right, so, and then you got your, of course, your layout here. So I think we can do the style here and do that. And we can go to the typography again. And this, we're just going to mess with the size a little bit. So we're going to bring that down, make that really kind of small. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is, while we're in here, let's throw in some effects. So I'm going to do, and then again, these are the Designmodo effects, AE-2, and this is the order. And it's going to be from left. And it is camel case for that. And they have other effects you can use. And then we're going to do this one, same thing, add CSS classes, AE-3, let's do 4, from right. All right, and publish. So if we go back to our dashboard, and I believe, let's go to our templates, and it's called sample. We see sample right there. All right, so we've created our template, and now we want to add it to our sample page. And I'm going to do add content, select template, and there we see our sample. Now again, this is using advanced custom fields to do this. I'm having it pull the, now when we look at these templates, let me go back and look at this sample one real quick. Sample, we see it's generating this right here, the Elementor, the shortcode. So what I've done, doing PHP do shortcode, and I'm using the object ID in advanced custom fields to get that value 319 and putting it into the template. Now let's have, if we look at the template real quick, all that is if we go to index, we have, so this is our, this is if we change direction, that's what this is. So this is a true false statement. But if we look right here, we get data name. This is the ID field, which I'll cover again, and the background effects. And so this is the slide stuff. This is a slide, so I'm wrapping it inside of this, closing it here. And here we go, do short code, Elementor ID equals this. And so that's how we're doing the same thing here. This one is a background image, and this one is video. And here, right here, when we put in the video stuff, that's our video source. So that's how that works. All right, so go back to this. So template setting, we're going to add our background image. Let's add the big picture, Cary Grant. I'm going to call this Cary Grant. And the slide ID is, and you can actually the slide name and the slide ID, but I use the slide ID because there's no spaces and underscore because it creates a better looking URL. So update that, and we look at our page. And there it is. I'm going to put a preloader so we don't see the images loading and stuff like this. Now we see an additional dot here and with our effects. So that's how that works. So you get a really cool drop and drag editor. You get the mobile stuff. All right, to handle it. So if we scale it down, we see, and then it eventually goes to mobile and does all that stuff. So, and it's a really basic example of how this works. But now you can create slides and layouts and stuff with a drop and drag editor using those three things. Real quick, one more thing. So let's switch it back. Edit page. Let's go change our. So we're going to change the slide direction to up and down, and again, that's using a conditional statement inside my template. And we're going to do Zen, and the background effect is going to be Ken Burns zoom in, so you can see the difference. And view page. Now, one of the cool aspects of doing it this way, like if you're familiar with Elementor, why not just do it with Elementor and drag it out, but and create it here on the page. The reason I'm not doing that is because I want to wrap this inside of slides, and I might want to do different things. And this lets me go, from a coding standpoint, go inside and outside of slides. So not slides, but Elementor. So I can do some Elementor stuff. If I want to do some custom stuff, I can do that. Like again with using advanced custom fields. So I want to create fields for specific text areas and do stuff that would be more difficult to build in Elementor. I can build that in slides and then add that to my flexible content. So yeah, here we go. So real quick, there we go. So we're going up and down using the Zen effect, so we get the cool. Now, Elementor does come with its own effects, but it doesn't work within slides because I believe everything's actually showing, so the scrolling effects don't work because Elementor thinks it's already there. So anyway, that's it. If anybody wants to find out more about this, you can email me. I believe it is scott@scottsaunders.desgin. So anyway, that's just a quick overview. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Anyway, all right, bye.